Hey, what up, everybody out there? This is Duran here again. I got one off the cuff. Here it is, Wednesday, April 30th, and more of a quiet type of day. Although in my back of the woods, things just seem to be strange. Those wild, crazy, zany events that typically happen in the larger cities. The Miamis and the LAs and that type of thing. They're happening around here. Two large crashes that took place with trucks and mass transportation shutting down areas of the highway. Another sad news was I guess there was a construction contractor working 4 stories up on an overpass on one of our main interstates here in Lansing, and he fell from that great height. Don't know. I mean, he suffered some injuries. I don't know what his condition is at the moment, but that occurred. And just 2 hours earlier, literally not even a mile and a half from that location, there was an explosion of a sound like a box van truck type of vehicle parked along the backside of a local bowling alley. So, just like I said, wild, crazy, zany things taking place, more and more so on the regular. This past week on one of our main roadways, MLK, people just racing, caused a 5-car crash. One of the people that was hospitalized after the event was a teenager that passed away. Like I said, wild, crazy stuff happening. One other aspect that I want to bring into this, which I don't do often enough, or openly often enough, I should say, is, Lord, thank you for the wisdom that you provide, the knowledge that you share, the light that you bring in this dark, dark world, in this dark, dark hour. Because if it was not for the rock of who you are, the rock of ages, to stabilize me, to give me hope, where others are feeling fear and having despair. If it wasn't for you, Lord, and the guidance of the Holy Spirit to, lead me, guide me into all types of truth, regardless of the source. But, I just thank you. I thank you for that. And that's where I come from. I want you to know that I lead in with the spirit of that when I do these little off the cuffs. It ain't about me. I'm not trying to be Nostradamus. I'm not trying to be any type of guy other than the way the good Creator created me. I just have a interest, a curiosity to follow patterns, events, and see the connections in the days and times that we're living in. And that's why I do this. So like I was saying, in a previous video, I spoke about how I thought this was going to be another disruptive year. And I think it's lived up to that. Where you got a new presidency, now you got tariffs, and let's be, what's the word? Trying to think of a good word for it. I want to just say, in accuracy of what's written in the Gospels, it said that there would be wars and rumors of wars. Well, isn't tariffs a type of war? Yeah, I think it is. I want to accept that as a confirmation of truth of the hour that we're living in. Now, of course, there's ongoing conflicts all throughout the world. The Ukraine thing's been going on for a few years now. And that's what I want to lead that into. There's been so many conflicts, these escalations. War does not have to come in the format that you might expect. You know, sometimes you might just think of G.I. Joe, sometimes you might think Civil War, you might think Desert Storm. But the art of war changes according to the generations and the technology and the darkness of the times and the evil that's in men's hearts, really. So, you know, if we're talking about basically people that accepted getting a bunch of these and then, you know, they're going on ventilators and expiring away, that is another type of warfare. You can call it biological. You know, so now we're dealing with the tariff thing. Now, what I find significant in all of this is that when the pandemic kicked off and we heard, you know, and this is the blueprint that they always do. You have, as I said in past videos, Hegelian dialectic. You got problem, reaction, solution. The people would never accept their solutions if they would not have presented the problem in such a way, they simulated it to bring you to their predetermined outcomes. So, you know, when the pandemic kicked off and they said, oh, it was the Wuhan thing and it was way over there and it was in the East and I heard it was China was involved in labs and rats and all of this type of stuff. Well, what happened was it raised the escalation of fear and anxiety in a lot of people, you know. It was another way to kind of, you know, kick racism out of its dormancy if it was a type of thing, you know. Those people over there did or had something to do with it, and I'm not gonna go, you know, get their chicken from their restaurant anymore, you know, that type of thing. But it also caused a situation where, you know, we started checking labels again as Americans. Where's this stuff coming from? You know, how do I know the quality that's built into it is good? You know, and I think that's where we're at right now with the whole tariff situation. Shipments are being delayed. Some of them are stopping. It's going to be disruptive. And that's where we have a new type of boogeyman involved. You know, who's gonna be the bad guy in this? Is it gonna be Trump, you know, as he tries to bring in the golden age? Is it going to be, you know, Xi Jinping, because, you know, he's like, hey, my people gotta work too, and you keep raising the prices of everything, I'm not gonna be able to do business, my people ain't gonna be able to work. If you bring poverty to our shores, we'll bring, you know, a greater escalation to yours. We'll bring it to your front porch. You know, your Amazon deliveries ain't gonna come shipped anymore. That's the type of thing that we're looking at right now. And for those that are intimately connected, tethered to, you know, that type of lifestyle, you know, the DoorDash life, the Amazon Prime life, you know, next day shipping, well, that modern convenience and you know, luxury that we in the Western world have enjoyed for a number of years will start to come to a halt, or it'll come with a much higher price. And will you be able to afford it? That would be the question, right? So, that's just one of the things that I wanted to bring up in regards to all of this. What else could be said about that? I don't know. I'm getting close to 10 minutes, so I want to wrap this up. Say hi to Thor, everybody. Say hi, Thor. There he is. Hey, buddy. Who's been a good boy? You been a good boy? Yeah. All right. Well, oh, hey, he's on the set. Say hi, Thor. All right, Duran, off the cuff with Thor. Talk to you some other time. Peace.